Okay, Sophie Science.
Okay.
You've been reading up on astronomy and biology. Okay. And in astronomy, you're in that chapter about the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you tell me about the moon?
Okay, about the moon. When Neil Armstrong, instead of the moon, him, instead of him feeling small because he was on the moon, it felt like he felt way smaller. Like no, from the Earth. He didn't feel anything from the moon, but he had a different perspective on the moon instead of Earth. He said that when he was on the moon, he realized how small we are in the world
Yes.
because the moon is not as close to Earth as you think. Because I'm not entirely sure of this. I think I've seen it somewhere. If you were to draw the Earth and the moon together, you would be able to fit almost the entire solar system between them. Actually, maybe only one planet between them. Just maybe one planet or two.
Okay.
Because I remember it said that Earth is not as close to the moon.
Okay.
But it can still be visible.
Yes, it is visible. Yeah.
Also, about the moon, it says that what should I say about it? Oh yeah, it has no atmosphere.
Oh.
So it's only temporary that it has light. It has light. But since
Does it have a light of its own?
No, because it borrows light from the sun. It actually just doesn't borrow it. It just reflects the light from the sun.
Okay.
But another thing, has there ever been a night that you didn't see the moon?
Yes.
Yes, lots of times. Just a few times.
A phase.
Yes, but the reason for that is because the reason why you can't see the back of the moon, because when it looks like it's not there, it's actually just the back of the moon. The reason why you can't see the back of the moon is because it rotates the same time as the Earth does.
Oh, okay. Wow.
It rotates the same time as the Earth does.
Oh, okay.
So you can never see the back of the moon. But in other countries, well, you can see the back of the moon, and other countries can't because there's a different perspective on each country.
Yes. Okay. Remember when we were in Boracay, there was a nuclear eclipse, was it?
Solar? No, not solar.
What kind of eclipse was it?
Like when the sun went behind the moon. What is that?
The sun went behind.
Lunar.
Yes.
It was a lunar eclipse.
So what we were actually seeing was
a lunar eclipse.
Yes. What does a lunar eclipse mean?
A lunar eclipse means like when it happens at night, and actually not at night, but the moon is the sun goes behind the moon.
Mm-hmm.
It's only for a temporary time. Like it goes like this. This is the sun. Like it just passes by like this.
Yes.
Only for a temporary time, not for the entire night.
So what we're actually seeing, or what we actually saw in Boracay, when the moon was
Red.
First it was red. Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right. You remembered. Good. It was red, and then after a while it turned what? It dimmed, right?
Yeah, it dimmed.
Why did it dim?
Like it turned dark.
Yes. What were we actually looking at?
Like how do I explain this? It turned a little dim because the sun was passing. It was passing through like this. Like it's actually from this perspective, the Earth was tilting still, but we were rotating. But the sun, as we were rotating, we went like this. like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it looked like the sun was going behind the moon.
Okay. If it went behind the moon,
Not exactly, just it looks
yeah.
like.
What did it cast?
I think it like not a shadow, kind of like a shadow.
Yes.
It did cast a shadow.
Yes, it was the shadow. It was the shadow.
Because we couldn't see the shadow of the moon. We have no idea where it cast exactly.
You know what? I'm also quite confused. I think it was the shadow of the earth. I think. I'm not sure.
No, it can't be the shadow of the earth. It has to be the shadow of the moon. We have studied about this, but not about the shadows. We haven't studied about that. So maybe we should look it up next time.
Okay. What about was it this quarter that you read the God particle?
God part. Oh, you mean like atoms?
Yes. Can you tell me about atoms?
Atoms. Like it's what makes up our entire world. But it can be. It's kind of logical because atoms are so small. So small, you can't see them from under a telescope. Even if you microscope, even if you go 1 billion times, you can't see it.
Really?
Yeah, but even though it's that small, if you put all the atoms of our body, like we are made out of one body. If you take all of the atoms together of our body, it would fit inside a pin.
A pin?
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
So basically, we are just space. We're space.
Amazing.
Yeah, we are space.
But where does your DNA and all that fit inside?
Oh, it fits inside you.
Okay.
It never said that specifically where it fits in your body, but it also said that it's spread all over your body.
Okay.
Because it also said that if your DNA was also collapsed together, if it was just bundled up together, it would fit inside a very tiny ice cube.
Mm.
But if your DNA was spread out, it would go around the Earth and the Sun 400 times. Yeah.
How possible? How is that even possible?
Maybe it
400 times?
Yes, 400 times. It said.
Oh my goodness.
It said that probably how it's possible is that your DNA can fit inside. It can squeeze but it can also stretch very long.
Yeah.
It's like, because the DNA it's like, we haven't studied about DNA yet, but I think it's like part of your cells. Almost all of your cells is part of your DNA.
Okay.
Almost, I think.
Okay. What else? I think there's a part in your astronomy that says the moon being a natural satellite, the only natural satellite.
Yes, it's the only natural satellite of the Earth.
Yes. What does a satellite mean?
A satellite is something that rotates around the planet or a certain thing in space.
Yes.
Like we have man-made satellites. It rotates the Earth. Not like, it doesn't look like the moon, but some of them look like a cross.
Yes.
And some of them I don't know what they look like, but they are satellites because they rotate around the Earth, because they could take pictures of the Earth and its status and what's happening right now.
Right.
Then it sends it back down on Earth, and so like it goes through like Google Maps.
Yes.
And so that you can see what's happening.
That's right. Yes.
It takes pictures also like that. so that you could see everything, and then you put the pictures together like a 3D.
Yes. So, studying and learning about astronomy, how big the universe is and how small the earth is actually, and studying and learning about biology and how tiny, microscopic are atoms and your DNA and everything else inside your body, how they are all so small. What does that tell you about God?
He's great. He somehow made everything like this. And it goes all into a logical order.
Right.
It's like a circle,
Okay.
except it's now bending a bit. It's bending a little bit into a line because of global warming and climate change. Like Antarctica's getting warmer, and the cold places are getting warmer because we're trapping more heat in because of pollution.
But what does it say about about God for you?
How does it say about God?
What does it say about what do you think about God now? Aside from the fact that he's great, what else? And I mean, there are no
He's like
right or wrong answers.
He's like an architect. He's like the architect of the universe, and also the builder and everything that took part in the universe, because he created everything. Also, actually, technically everything, because we wouldn't have everything that you have, even man-made, if without the tools that he made for us. Like, the tools go down all tiny bits. So technically, the man-made stuff we made is also made out of what he made.
Yeah. Okay, Sophie, thank you.